You wake up. The alarm goes off. And before you even open your eyes, before you check your phone, before you say a single word, your brain has already started lying to you. Not a little, not occasionally. Every single morning, your brain runs a program designed to make you feel behind, unworthy, and stuck. And the terrifying part is, you believe it. You've been believing it your entire life. But here's what no one tells you. That voice in your head right after you wake up, it is not you. It is biology. And once you understand what's actually happening inside your skull during those first minutes of consciousness, you will never see your mornings the same way again. Stay with me, because what I'm about to show you will change how you start every single day. Let's start with a question. Have you ever woken up feeling completely fine? No reason to feel bad? Nothing went wrong the night before? And yet, within seconds, your mind started replaying every mistake you've ever made. Every embarrassing moment. Everything you haven't done yet. Every way you're not enough. Most people think this means something is wrong with them. It doesn't. It means your brain is working exactly as it was designed to work. The problem is, it was designed for a world that no longer exists. Here's what's actually happening. The moment you transition from sleep to wakefulness, your brain doesn't slowly come online like a computer starting up. It snaps into high alert. This is an evolutionary survival response. For hundreds of thousands of years, waking up was dangerous. Predators, enemies, starvation. Every morning was potentially your last. So your brain evolved a system to scan for threats the instant you regain consciousness. That system is called the default mode network. And when it activates in the morning, it doesn't ask, what's good in my life? It asks, what's wrong? What's missing? What could hurt me today? It is a threat detector running on ancient hardware. And you are living in a world it was never built for. Now layer in the second mechanism, cortisol. Cortisol is often called the stress hormone, but that's not entirely accurate. It's more like your brain's morning alarm system. Cortisol levels spike naturally about 30 minutes before you wake up. This is called the cortisol awakening response. It is supposed to give you energy and focus. But cortisol doesn't just wake up your body. It sensitizes your brain to negative information. It makes threats feel bigger. It makes problems feel more urgent. It narrows your thinking. So right when your default mode network is already scanning for everything wrong in your life, cortisol floods your system and turns up the volume on every negative signal it finds. This is not anxiety. This is not depression. This is chemistry. Every human on the planet goes through this every single morning. The difference between people who feel crushed by it and people who move through it is whether they know it's happening. And then comes the third mechanism, the one that might surprise you the most. It's called negativity bias. Your brain does not process positive and negative information equally. Negative experiences are encoded in memory faster, remembered more vividly, and recalled more easily than positive ones. This was useful when your ancestors needed to remember which plants were poisonous and which predators were dangerous. But in the morning, when your default mode network is already running threat scans and cortisol is already amplifying every negative signal, negativity bias acts like a filter over your entire self-perception. You don't remember the 10 things you did well last week. You remember the one thing you said that came out wrong. You don't feel proud of how far you've come. You feel the weight of how far you still have to go. This isn't weakness. This is the most predictable thing about being human. And here's the crucial point. None of these three systems know the difference between a real threat and a negative thought. They can't tell the difference between a lion and the memory of a conversation that didn't go well. To your morning brain, every uncomfortable thought is an emergency. So what do you do with this? First, recognize the window. The first 20 minutes after you wake up are the highest risk window for negative self-perception. Your cortisol is peaking. Your default mode network is in full scan mode. Your negativity bias is running without a filter. This is not the time to check social media, not the time to read the news, not the time to review everything on your to-do list. Every piece of negative or comparative information you consume in this window gets amplified far beyond its actual weight. The people who feel good about themselves in the morning are not more successful than you. They are simply more careful about what they let into their brain during the threat window. Second, interrupt the scan before it builds momentum. When the default mode network runs its morning threat scan, it is looking for problems. But here is the thing. It will find whatever you point it at. If you give it nothing to focus on, it will go looking through your memories for unresolved problems. But if you deliberately give it a question, a specific, concrete question, it will redirect. Not an affirmation. Not, I am great and everything is fine. Your brain will reject that instantly because it knows it's not true. A question. Something like, what is one thing I actually did well yesterday? What is one small thing I'm looking forward to today? What is one thing that, if I got it done, would make this day feel complete? These questions are not positivity tricks. They are neurological redirects. They give the default mode network a task. And once it has a task, it stops running the threat scan. Third, give your cortisol somewhere to go. Cortisol is energy. In the morning, your body is flooded with it and waiting for direction. If you don't give it direction, your brain will spend it on anxiety. This doesn't mean you need a complex morning routine. It doesn't mean you need to meditate for 40 minutes or run 5 miles before sunrise. It means moving your body for 5 minutes, standing up, walking to the window, doing 10 push-ups. Anything that tells your nervous system the energy is being used. The threat has been addressed. You can stand down now. 5 minutes of physical movement in the morning is not about fitness. It is about signaling to your biology that the emergency is over. Here is what I want you to take from this. Your morning thoughts are not truth. They are not a reflection of who you are, what you've accomplished, or what your life means. They are a biological weather system, predictable, temporary, and completely disconnected from reality. The brain that tells you at 7 in the morning that you're behind, that you're failing, that everyone else has it figured out. That brain is running on 100,000-year-old software designed for a world full of predators and starvation. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are not behind. You just woke up, and your brain did exactly what it was built to do. Now you know what it's doing. And knowing, really understanding the mechanism, is the first moment your brain stops running you, and you start running it. If this changed the way you see your mornings, there's something else you need to know, because your brain doesn't stop lying to you after breakfast. The same systems we just talked about, the default mode network, the negativity bias, the cortisol response, they shape every decision you make throughout the day. They influence who you trust, what risks you take, why you procrastinate, and why you sometimes self-sabotage right when things are going well. The next video is going to go deeper. We're going to look at how your brain rewrites your memories, not randomly, but in a specific, predictable pattern that keeps you stuck in the same emotional loops, and what you can do to interrupt that pattern at the source. Subscribe so you don't miss it, and if this video gave you something real, share it with one person who needs to hear it this morning. I'll see you in the next one.